All right, guys, I am super honored and so excited to be able to present the first week of our Diamond Dash training. I know so many of you have big goals and are just ready to find that diamond within and to really work the business and really make this work for you to help you reach your goals and to help others as well. And so I am really excited to be doing this call today. I sat down and tried to figure out something that would kick us off that would just be really inspiring and motivating. And I hope that what I have come up with just really touches you and really helps you as we move forward. So I'm going to be talking about the energy bus. And I'll give a quick backstory really quick. I listen to the Dave Ramsey EntreLeadership podcast a lot. I love him. If you don't listen to him, I totally recommend his podcast. And he had an interview with a man named John Gordon, who is the writer of The Energy Bus. And he started talking about things like high-performing teams are positive. If you weed out the negativity, it's not always that the most talented teams win. The teams that are out there winning are the teams that are connected and teams that have positive energy and are just, really committed to one another. And when I started hearing that, I was like, I've got to get this book because this sounds amazing. And so I went out and I got the audio version of The Energy Bus. And I totally recommend it. It's like a 3-hour audio book, and it's a parable style. It's so good. I think I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times already. And so it has these rules. It's called The Energy Bus, and it has these rules. And I'll give you a little backstory of how the book starts. But when I started listening to it, it totally changed my thinking and my mindset, and it really made me realize that I can control the outcome. You can control the outcome of what happens in your life. So to kick off first, I wanted to kind of give a little backstory. So the book starts with this guy. He wakes up one morning. He's just a grump. His life hasn't gone according to the way that he wants it. He goes outside to find that he has a flat tire. And he walks back in, just great, just my luck, down in the dumps, just so upset. And he asks his wife to take him to work, and she's like, I have too many things to do. And he ends up snapping at his family, and he walks to the bus. And the bus door opens, and this lady's on the bus, the driver, and she, is all bubbly and good morning, how are you? And coincidentally, her name is Joy. And he climbs on the bus all grumpily, and she just starts talking to him, and she realizes that he's just this person full of negativity. And so she kind of chews him out a little bit, and she tells him that he's a dimmer, no spirit, no purpose, no energy, and she just gives him this rude awakening. You can see your life as a curse or a gift, and, is your life a success story or a soap opera? You decide. And, she drops him off, and he is just ticked, like, oh my heck, I can't believe this lady that I don't even know, I just was riding the bus, just chewed me out, for my attitude. Well, he goes through a day, which is, work is crummy, he's in jeopardy of losing his job, his team isn't very motivated. He goes to the mechanic to find out that it's a good thing that his tire was flat because he had faulty brakes, and he could have, had a major wreck and could have, died. But the bad news was it was going to take 2 weeks to get the part. And so he ends up riding this bus with the bus driver, Joy. And he climbs on the bus, and he realizes that he needs to, before he gets on the bus, he's like, I've got to make a change. Something has to change in my life so that I can, my life can be better. And he gets on the bus, and Joy coincidentally calls her bus the Energy Bus. And she has 10 rules for the ride of your life. 10 things that you need to know to live a life full of meaning, full of energy, full of happiness. And every day she gives George a lesson, a rule that he needs to follow. And so for this call, I'm going to go through each rule because I think they definitely apply to coaching. They apply to becoming a leader. They apply to so many things, just not only coaching, but just in your life. And so I hope that this will give you the energy and boost that you need, to move forward and create the life that you're wanting to create. So, rule number 1. You are the driver of your own bus, and therefore you need to take responsibility. So many people feel like they have no control. You know, you have your boss telling you what to do, your spouse is telling you what to do, you have demanding children, you have all these outside things that are expected of you, and sometimes you don't feel in control. But it's time to stop being poor me, and it's time to take your will and change your direction. No one can change your energy or attitude but you. And a smile changes your energy. The way you think and feel and how you interact, a smile can change it all. But you have to choose your vision. Where do you want to go? Life is simple, and we as human beings tend to complicate it. Every journey begins with a desire to go somewhere. So I want to ask you, do you know where you want to go? Do you have a vision of what you want your life to look like? You create your world. I want you to grab a pen and paper really quickly and write down these 3 questions. Number 1, what is my vision for my life, including my health? Number 2, what is my vision for my work, career, and team? And number 3, what is my vision for my relationship with my family? And I want you to answer those. When we get off the call, I want you to answer those. You need to have a desire and focus to change. If you don't want to change, if you don't want to change your circumstances, or you don't have a willingness to try, chances are you're not going to change. Things in your life aren't going to change. You have to take control of the wheel. Every crisis offers us an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser and to discover a better you. So take control of the wheel. You are the driver of your own bus, and you determine what happens. You are your own leader. You are your own boss. So it's time to be the driver. Okay, rule number 2. Desire, vision, and focus move your bus in the right direction. So this has a lot to do with visualization. We hear a lot about, visualizing and picturing how we want things to happen. And I can tell you that when I first started coaching, I was one that was like, that is so cheesy. That is so, I don't know. I just was so against visualization and affirmations because I felt like they were so hokey and that they just were, a bunch of BS, to be honest. And I remember listening to Scotty Hobbs talk about how every day before he became a pretty high-up coach, he sat in his hot tub and he visualized for 10 minutes what it felt like to reach his goals. I mean, he had it pictured down to the wire. And then when he reached that goal, he was happy, but he already knew. He already knew what it felt like because he'd envisioned it for so long. And so I started taking in his advice, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. And as an example, last year I was on the wait list to go to the Success Club trip for Cancun. I hadn't had the belief in myself to pay the deposit, and I was on the wait list. And I started visualizing. I wanted to go. I'd earned the trip. I had earned the chance to go, and I wanted to be there. I wanted to see this event. I wanted to be there. And so every night I would visualize opening up my email and seeing that I had gotten this email. Well, months went by. I'm not kidding you. I'm pretty sure, let's see, the trip was in April, and I got my email 30 days to the day that we were leaving. And it was the most exciting thing, but also this feeling of I knew it was going to happen. Visualization creates peace within you because you feel it and you know it's going to happen. When I went diamond, I just knew. I already planned it, and I just knew I was going to hit it by the date that I had set for myself. And it did. Before I went to Summit this last year, I visualized walking across stage and taking a selfie with Jeff Hill. And some people may think that's really cheesy, but for me, it was just something I wanted to do. I wanted to do that for the crew, and I wanted to show them that anything was possible. And we were able to do that the last second. And we were walking across stage in 4 in a row, and the opportunity was right there. It was about to pass me by, and I just snuck up and took my picture because I had visualized it. I knew it was going to happen, and I made it happen. So you have to have a desire to want something. You've got to have a vision on how you're going to, how it's going to turn out. And then you've got to focus and move your bus in the right direction. So take 10 minutes out of your day and really focus and envision what it is you want to accomplish. It's not cheesy. It's not silly. There are times I've busted out crying because I'm just so moved by my vision of what I have in place for myself. And I want that for you guys. But you have to do it for yourself. So take 10 minutes a day and really focus on what it is that you want. Thoughts are magnetic, and we hear all the time, what we put out there, we attract to ourselves, and it's so true. There is energy in thought. So spend your time thinking about what you want rather than what you don't want. Change your mindset. Instead of always, complaining and using negative words like I wish, I hope, instead I can, I will. Those are the kind of words that you need to be using. Complaining is focusing on the negative. So I want you to be a winner, not a whiner. The more you see it, the more likely it will happen. Rule number 3. Fuel your ride with positive energy. And this kind of goes along with what we were talking about with the vision. There's so much energy around us. There is power in positive energy. It is so important. Positive energy is what's going to keep your bus moving forward with momentum. We know that there is negativity in the world. You can jump on your Facebook, and probably you have more positivity now that you're a coach. But before you were a coach, think about all the negativity that you see in your newsfeed. Think about every time you turn on the news, how many stories do you really hear that are positive? So you really have to consciously choose positive energy and really understand how important it is, because when you choose to think positively, dealing with negative people and negative situations can be draining. They're just draining on other people. One bad apple spoils a bunch. We hear that all the time. And so you've got to choose positivity. You've got to be able to see past the negativity and the rejection and things like that. There's a formula that they talk about on the bus, and it's called E plus P equals O. And E stands for events in your life. So events plus perception equals outcome. So while we can't control the events that happen in our lives, we can control how we perceive them, how we handle them. And because of how we handle that, we can control the outcome. We can take a situation that could be really, really heartbreaking and turn it into something beautiful and positive. An example would be Lindsay Matway. She's a top coach. She was a bankrupt bartender. She didn't, her life situation from when she was growing up wasn't the greatest. She ended up working as a bartender. She ended up pregnant, unmarried and pregnant when she just had recently met the man that's now her husband. She had her daughter super early, who ended up, in the NICU, who they didn't even know if she was gonna, they felt like she was gonna probably have a million different problems. She has all of this story about herself, but she's created something beautiful and something positive. She's created this thriving business. She's created a life for herself. While she couldn't control those circumstances that happened to her, she's created something beautiful out of it, and you have the opportunity to do that as well. As coaches, we all have ups and downs. The business is a roller coaster. You're going to have people that quit on you. You're going to have people, who maybe question your integrity. You may have that, but if you can stay positive and you can stay your course, that's going to drive you forward. Positive energy and positive people create positive results. So remember that positivity is contagious. Energy is contagious. And so just always be looking for that bright side, that thing, At the end of the day, you may have had one of the worst days in the world, but what was something good that came out of it? Always be looking for the silver lining inside of it. Maybe you have a coach quit. Find the silver lining in it. Maybe you guys weren't jiving together anyway. Maybe it is a blessing. So don't just try to forget the negative and really, really focus on the positive. Okay, rule number 4 is invite people on your bus. So we have the opportunity to invite people to share our vision for the road ahead. You have the opportunity to place your vision in front of people. You get to talk about, for example, with Going Diamond, you get to talk about the opportunities that this business has. You can't always do things by yourself. And obviously, as a coach, you need a good team. But here's the thing. So many coaches spend time just adding discount coaches, or they sit in this scarcity mentality of, if I don't sign this one person as a coach, then I'm never going to reach my goals. I'm never going to go diamond. You need to find like-minded people and get them on your bus. And you want the most positive people you can get, because the more positive people you get, the more positive energy you will create. So I want to tell you this. You are your bus driver, right? You drive the bus, so you get to decide who is on your bus. So when you are talking to people, you need to decide if they would be a good fit and a good rider on your bus. You don't have to sign everybody who wants this opportunity. A good leader is someone who pairs somebody with someone that is like-minded. I can tell you that there are coaches in Beachbody who have turned people away because they do not connect. And it's nothing against them, but what do we always talk about? You're not everyone's cup of tea, and not everyone's your cup of tea. And it has nothing to do with them. It's not a negative thing, but you have to make sure that you're getting the right people on your bus, because you don't want people on your bus who are going to bring you down and others down. So I want you to step out of the scarcity mentality and realize that you are the bus driver and you have the power to decide who gets on your bus. And how do you decide who gets on your bus? Well, you share your vision with them and you make it clear on what you expect. You make it clear on what your what your team culture is like. You make it clear so that they can make a decision and you can as well. So remember, and place it. You get to place this opportunity to people to invite them on your bus. Create a post about it. Talk about, what your vision is for the future. What you want to see would happen with your life. What do you want to help other people do? Share your vision with other people and invite them to join your bus. Okay. Rule number 5. Don't waste your energy on those who don't get on your bus. This one is so important in so many ways. So the enemy is negativity, and it's everywhere. So how do you deal with it? Simple. Don't worry about it. Don't waste your energy on it. The more you worry about it, the less positive energy you will have. How many times do we worry ourselves sick about things that we cannot control? Or how many times I can tell you that many times I've spent my energy and my time pulling people along because I see this fire inside of them or this light inside of them, and I want them to have it for themselves. But if I'm dragging them along, is that doing anyone any good? No, because I'm wasting my energy and they're not enjoying it, so it's just bringing me down as well, and it's bringing you down. And so don't waste your energy on those who don't want to get on your bus. If someone unfriends you, if someone unfollows you, that is okay. Don't waste your energy wondering what you could have done to be better. Because the ultimate goal is to find people, like I said in rule number 4, find people who share a vision with you. Those are the people you want anyway. So don't waste your time and energy on those who don't get on your bus. Bless and release them. You are too blessed to stress about them. Okay, rule number 6. No energy vampires are allowed on your bus. Okay, what's an energy vampire? Well, you know what a vampire is. They suck the life out of people. That's exactly what energy vampires are. They suck the life and energy out of a team. So surround yourself with a positive, supportive team. Now, what happens if you have energy vampires on your team already? People that just seem to, always be the little Eeyore with a rain cloud hanging over them. They never post anything positive, You kind of dread, seeing their post because it's just going to be full of sadness. So how do you do it if they're already on your bus? You don't want to kick them off. You can't really kick them off. In some ways, now that they're on your bus, what can you do? Well, you kind of have to put your foot down and state, there are no energy vampires allowed on this team. And explain to them the team culture. Explain to them that while you love them and that you want, this to be a safe place on your team where they can come and express concerns, these concerns have to be something that you guys can come together and create and turn into something positive. That it's something that you can, it's got to be a problem that people can work through, not just this poor picked on me. Right? So these people will have a big influence on your life, whether it's successful or not. You want people around you who will increase your energy, not drain your energy. You have to be strong enough to let people know that the negativity is not allowed on your bus. So maybe it isn't on your team. Maybe you have a family member who is being an energy vampire, who is sucking the life out of it. Every time you talk about the business, every time you share what you're doing, they bring you down. Then you've got to let them know that it's not okay. Or you've got to decide that you're just not going to talk about that part of your life with them because you don't need that negativity. You don't need them bringing you down. You drive your bus, you are in control, and you don't need somebody bringing you down and sucking the energy out of you because you are going to inspire somebody else. Okay, rule number 7. Enthusiasm attracts more passengers and energizes them during the ride. So we all know there are people on Facebook, just for example, there are coaches on Facebook who you are just automatically drawn to, right? They are bubbly, they are fun, they are quirky, or they just have this personality that attracts you. Why? Because they have enthusiasm. A good example would be Bonnie Engel. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Bonnie Engel. I know she has some haters, and I'm sure she does. But Bonnie Engel is a light. She's enthusiastic. Why? Because she knows who she is. She's okay being herself. And because of that, she attracts a bunch of people to her. She's in the top 10 coaches right now because people are attracted to her. They like to see what she has because positivity feeds positivity. And so positive energy works. It spreads one person at a time. You need to be a CEO, not a chief executive officer. You need to be a CEO, a chief energy officer. You need to make it your goal to spread positivity everywhere you go. These people, the CEOs, are the excited, positive, and optimistic people. They don't let fear stop them. When you are enthusiastic, people will want to get on your bus, right? Think about it. When you are you're in the zone because you've been doing your personal development, you've been doing your 3 vital behaviors every day. When you're in that zone and you're pumping out amazing posts from your personal development because you're just inspired and ready to go, people want to know what you're doing, right? Because all of a sudden their negative newsfeed, there's someone there that's a light. And they're attracted to it, and they're following it. And maybe you don't know right away that they're watching you, but I'm telling you right now, every single person on this call has stalkers, and not creepy stalkers. They have stalkers who are watching them. They're waiting, and they're wanting to see what you're doing. They want to see. They're tuning in every single day to see what's going on in your life, to know, to be inspired by you just by the life that you're living. So you've got to make it your mission to be a CEO, a chief energy officer. Now, we all have times where our lives are crummy, right? We have times where they're down, like your daughter cuts her hair and, things like that. But it's all about how you share it with other people. You have people that will be having marital issues and they just tear down their spouse and they're talking crummy about them and it sucks the energy out of you. But then you've also seen people who've talked about the struggles that they've had with their marriage, but that they're working on it, or that they've decided to separate ways, but they're finding the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, there's a difference. We've seen it. We understand that. And so you've got to decide if you're going to be a CEO. People feel your energy enthusiasm, and that's something that you have to remember when you post on your Facebook and when you send private messages. People sense energy. Energy is contagious, and enthusiasm is contagious. They can feel, you can feel those in messages, the energy people have. This is like a beacon of energy coming from your heart because it's real, it's raw. And when you're energized, others will be energized. A positive culture will outperform a negative culture every single time. And that's why he says that it's not always about the most talented teams that win. It's about the most connected teams. It's about those teams that feed off of one another's energy, who support and love and inspire one another. So there are teams out there, that can have amazing recruiters, amazing rock stars, but then there's always these, that's why everyone roots for the underdog, right? Because they see this amazing team culture and they see this love and just they want to be a part of that. And so you've got to share your enthusiasm. You've got to put it out there to attract other people, to show them, look what I have to offer you. Look what you get the chance to be a part of. We want you on our bus because you match everything that we stand for. So be a CEO. Choose today to be a CEO, a Chief Energy Officer. Rule number 8. This has got to be my favorite one. Love your passengers. Loving the passengers and the coaches on your team is so vitally important. It is not about just getting a coach and signing them and saying, well, good luck, It's not about that. Tap into the power of your heart and lead with a positive, contagious energy. You must love your passengers. You have to love your coaches. You've got to love your clients, and you've got to love your family, and you've got to share that love. Some people, struggle with sharing love. It's just, they do love people, but their emotions, they don't wear their heart on their sleeve. They don't share their emotions. But if you're that type of person, you've got to find a way to share the love with them. You've got to let people know that they're loved and that they're appreciated. You've got to let your coaches know that you are proud of them and that, even if they didn't reach their goal that month, it's okay. Because whether you think it or not, every single coach worries about what their upline is, about letting their upline down. I've constantly felt bad about myself and felt just so disappointed because I felt like I let down my coach, that I let down my leader because I didn't reach my goals, she wasn't able to reach her goals. But I also know that that's not what it's about. I felt bad about, letting my crew down and letting this team down and not being the leader that they need. But that's not what it's about. And I want you to never, never, ever feel guilty for not reaching your goals and letting someone down. You're not letting anyone down. You are loved. And if your coach loves you, then it doesn't matter. You have to let people know that you care about them, that you really care about them, that you're not just talking to them. We talk about invitation process, and we always worry that people think we're out to get them. But if you're genuinely talking to people because you just love people and you genuinely want to help them, it will never, ever, ever come across that way. And if someone questions your integrity, that's on them, not on you, because you should be safe and strong and grounded in the fact that you know where your heart lies. When you love other people, you'll get love back. So be a lover. Share your heart with other people. Let other people use their gifts and their strengths. Allow your coaches to do what they do best. Help bring out the best in others, and by doing that, it brings out the best in you. It's so hard as, leaders, we feel like we have to be this perfect leader, we have to do everything, and it can be hard to let go of control. But I can tell you from experience, if you can let go of control early on as a coach, you will see your team blossom in a way that you never expected. Because you're allowing them to grow. You're allowing them to spread their wings. It can be so easy to worry about, there was a story by Lindsay Natley who she said that she had created the Bombshell Dynasty, and for the first time, one of her coaches decided to do their own team name. And she stepped out and did her own team name, and Lindsay was so heartbroken. She didn't understand why anyone would want to leave the Bombshell Dynasty. And then she realized that's what she wants. That's what we want as coaches. You know, it's just like as parents, we want our babies to grow up, and while we would love for them to live with us forever, the end goal is we really want them to spread their wings and fly. And we want them to be these incredible people on their own. And that's what you ultimately want as a coach. You don't want to be a babysitter. You don't want to be a boss. You want to be a leader, and you want to create more leaders. So love them and help them to become the leaders that are within them. Okay, we're almost done, I promise. So rule number 9, you need to drive with purpose. So purpose is the ultimate fuel for your journey through life. When you drive with purpose, you don't get tired, bored, or burned out because you know exactly why you're doing something. So I'm encouraging you right here, right now, if you don't know why you're doing this, you've got to figure it out. Because if not, you're just driving, through the desert aimlessly because you don't know why. You've got to figure out why you're getting up every single day and putting your heart and soul out there and facing rejection from people. Why are you putting your life on social media for other people to possibly judge? What is the purpose of this? Why are you doing this? Purpose helps you find excitement in the mundane, doing those 3 vitals every single day, the passion in the everyday, and the extraordinary in the ordinary. You have to find your purpose, and then you've got to share it because that's what positive energy is all about. Think about it. Those people that you look up to and you know that you want to be like, you want to create a business like, whether it's in Beachbody or just in the world, outside world, I guarantee you it's because you see them and you know their purpose. You know what they're striving for. You get it. You see it every day. You know what the type of person they are, and you understand who they are. So drive with a purpose and then share that purpose with other people. And then the last one, which is, another one that I would say is probably one of my favorites, is number 10, have fun and enjoy the ride. You only get one life. You have only one life to live, and you've got to live it to the fullest. Don't focus on what stresses you out because that's no fun. You have to know that you are too blessed to be stressed. Remember all of the things that you are thankful for because this feeling of gratitude will fuel your performance every single day. It is uplifting. Live and work like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Step out of your comfort zone. Just live your life. So many people look back on their life with regret because they were too afraid to step out and fail. Failing is inevitable. We will all fail. We will all have times where we fall flat on our face. But the difference is whether you decide to stand up, dust yourself off, and keep going, or if you decide to just go back into your box. Be optimistic, be positive, and find the joy. Everything happens for a reason, and we don't necessarily know why. Life is a test. Adversity helps us grow. Negative events and negative people teach us what we don't want so we can focus the energy on what we do want. There will always be challenges and problems, and we must face each challenge and problem with a positive outlook. Learn from the past and don't focus on the future. Focus on the path that you are on. Experience joy in everything you do and everywhere you go. So today I want to invite you. Sorry, I just skipped past that. Okay, today I want to invite you to join the energy bus. Are you on the bus or off the bus? Because I can tell you, you can't be both. You've got to decide if you're going to get on the bus and enjoy the ride and create this change in your life. Are you going to go for diamond? Are you going to go for those goals that you put in place for yourself? Or are you not? Because you can't be half on, half off the bus. You've got to be all in or all out. Here is your ticket to make a difference. I am offering you this ticket, and I want you to join us. I want you to be on this ride because I see a fire and I see a light inside of every single one of you, and I know that you can make a big difference in this world, but you have to decide because you are the driver of your bus. I'm going to go back a slide. The goal in life is to live young, have fun, and arrive at your final destination as late as possible with a smile on your face. It's about enjoying the journey, you guys. It is about living a life filled with purpose and with passion and just loving the life that you have. So many people hate the lives that they have, and it's sad. They are genuinely not happy. They are living day in, day out in this zombie mode. They're going to work unhappy. They're coming home to unhappy lives, and that's not okay. And that's not something you should be going through either. You've got to take control and drive your bus and find the thing that brings you joy and passion and happiness every single day. So, are you on the bus? I want to thank you for listening to this call. There is a form that you will need to fill out. I want to hear your feedback from this call. I want to know if you're on the bus. I want to know, your takeaways from this, because this is for you. So I'm so glad that you were able to get on, and I hope we'll see you more on the Energy Bus.